Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Carroll Catholic head soccer coach Matt Kirkpatrick. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome back, Coach.
Thanks.
All right.
Good to see you again.
Good deal. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yep.
We've had spring break. We've had illness. We've had a lot of things going on. So we've got a number of games to talk about. So let's get right to it. How about that?
Great.
So first of all, back on the 20th of March, you played Leeds and you actually tied them. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, Leeds and John Carroll have become a pretty big rivalry. We're both usually fighting for the area tournament or area championship. And so that was a game we played right before spring break. So it's a ton of fun. The whole student body comes out for it. And it was a competitive match. I think we ended up tying the game with 16 seconds left.
Oh, wow.
So it was a great match. And it's going to be our first round opponent too for the playoffs, and so a lot of motivation there, and it should be a good game.
Good deal. Then you played on April 1st. You had an area game against Center Point. You beat them handily, 10-0. You followed that up with a game against Carver, which you won 2-1. And then at Homewood, you lost 1-3. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Well, so I tell you, that whole week, that was our first week coming back from spring break. We had a lot of big games. The Center Point game was good prep for the Carver. Carver's gotten really good this year, and that was a big area win coming out off of spring break.
Good.
And so, no excuses. Home was a very good team. We were a little beat up going into that game. We got everybody on the field, and it was a very good game. We went up 1-0, actually scored a second. They got called back. Thought we were up 2-0, and then and like I said, they're a quality side and got a couple goals in the second half and got the better of us. But really great week for us coming back from spring break because we take that whole week off, and so really, like I said, prepared us for ahead.
Right, good deal. So then you had Ramsey back on April 7th. You beat them handily, 9-0. And then after that, the very next day, you played Carver again. Now, you mentioned it's an area team. It's very important. And you made a nice tight win, though. It was 4-3. What happened in that game?
Man, I tell you, that's a game to come to because first we had Ramsey at Legion Field, which is a lot of fun. Playing there in that historic venue is always great. So that was a ton of fun for everybody.
Right.
And then we knew Carver would be hungry. They had to win to get into playoff, or they were fighting for first, and so they made playoffs. But it was a tough game, and they actually went up on us three different times.
Wow.
So they're up 1-0, we tied it up. They're up 2-1, tied it up, and then we ended up coming back to win the game. But 7 goals in a soccer match doesn't happen that often.
Right.
So it was a great game to watch. A little bit more stressful to coach. But super proud of our boys for persevering, because they could have got their heads down any one of those times we went down in the match. But one of our core values is family and persevering. Those are two of our main core values, and they certainly represented that well. They had to stay tight together and work through some mistakes.
Right.
They had to keep playing soccer and not freak out and just do what we do, and they did that the entire 80 minutes. And like I said, we ended up taking the lead, I think, with 6 minutes left. So it was a great game. If you were not a soccer fan, that'd be one of the first games to go to, because it was exciting.
Well, and the boys learned probably a very good lesson that you just got to persevere. You got to continue 100%. On.
And then we talk about that a lot. Just do the little things well. Don't worry about the lights on the scoreboard. Let's worry about the process of how we play.
Right.
Because in soccer, sometimes score gets time's running out. We get to playing a little bit too direct, and it's just easy to stop. And so our guys did a great job of playing the way that we wanted to play, which allowed us to be able to tie the game up and take the lead.
Good deal.
Yeah,
all right.
It was exciting.
So then on Thursday, you played Altamont. My understanding is that was kind of a last-minute reschedule, trying to get another team in to play, and Altamont said yes. So you beat them 2-1, kind of a tight game there. Tell us just a little bit.
Yeah, I tell you, grateful to Altamont for making that happen.
Right.
Because we had another team had a scheduling conflict, and we had to find them last minute, and so it was gracious for them to come over and do that.
Right.
We had already played earlier in the year. But again, they went up on us 1-0.
Yeah.
And we went into the second half down on senior night, which no senior wants to do.
Right.
So we actually had one of our seniors score 2 goals in the second half to win the game, again, with not much time left. So once again, had to play his family, had to persevere through some setback and some adversity there.
Yeah.
And we, all the seniors got on the field a bunch and played a ton.
Yeah.
And then to have a senior score 2 goals for his senior night, it was exciting.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Grateful for him. Would have liked to have done it a little earlier.
Yeah.
But a dramatic and exciting way to finish his senior, home season there. So that was awesome.
Tell us a little more about senior night. What does that mean to those guys, and what does it mean overall for the team and for the fans?
Yeah, so a lot of our seniors have been here for 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
They may have started in 8th grade playing for the middle school or the JV team.
Right.
And so a lot of those guys actually had been here for 5 years. And so
Fantastic.
To finish playing your last home regular season match is what that's about. So there's so much pride and history. We actually had 12 alumni come back out who had played before.
How about
to talk to our kids, and so there's just a big connection, with all the history that John Carroll soccer has had. And so, we always say we want to leave the shirt better than we found it. And so those guys who've worn the jersey for 5 years, 4 or 5 years, this is their last opportunity, and they want to finish that off the right way.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of honor, which comes with a little bit of stress,
Sure.
but man, I couldn't be any more proud of these seniors. I've got one, Tim Miller, for example, who this is really his first year playing varsity.
Yeah.
But he has led the underclassmen on the JV team last year as a junior,
Right.
in a way that I've never seen. And so the leadership ability that he got by taking advantage of that opportunity, sometimes our juniors on JV don't, but man, he did. He actually got awarded, I think he was in charge, he went to I think it's a president's school this summer, where some of the top males high school students go for this leadership thing, and he was nominated the #1 leader in the group.
Nice.
And I think that's because he's just such a quality young man who's taken
Right.
advantage of opportunities that God has provided him, not necessarily only on the varsity level. So we're a whole program with multiple teams to provide opportunities for our kids to grow, and he's just a great example of that.
Yeah.
And now as a senior, his playing time is so-so,
Right.
but man, he is one of our best leaders. He leads the locker room, he leads the team, and he was a big part of that comeback. He had a great speech at halftime that inspired everybody. And then JC, our senior, who scored both goals, he's been leading on the field, for the past several years, and for him to step up and do that in the moment was awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good
So,
deal.
I could talk on these guys all day long.
I know, for sure.
Yeah.
So you've only got 2 regular season games left. I mean, this season has flown by, hasn't it?
It does. It does. It feels like once soccer season starts, like school year's almost over because it just goes by so quick. So,
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So tomorrow you play Briarwood. Now,
Yep.
Briarwood is a difficult team to play. They're a tough out. What do you expect to see from them?
Yeah, well, it's a great game for us to play this week, getting ready for playoffs, because they are a tough team.
Right.
I know I've coached a lot of those kids in club as a club coach, and so I know at least six of them have played together for the past 3 or 4 years outside of their high school team. So it's going to be a tough match, but it's something we're always up for. The John Carroll, Briarwood, a little bit of a rivalry, Catholics versus Protestants kind of thing.
Right.
And is a fun game,
Sure.
And a lot of those kids have played club, with each other. So we hope to be very competitive, hope to go in there and steal a win. They are a strong team and should challenge us for that last week of headed into playoffs. Anything that we need to fix will probably get exposed. And so we're gonna give it our best and go get them.
All right.
Yeah.
And then following that on Thursday, you've got another difficult game, but in a different way. It's going to be Spain Park. And Spain Park, if you look at their record, doesn't look like they've had a very good year. But if you look and see who they've played, they've had a very difficult schedule. So that's one you got to watch out for. That's kind of like the snake that can bite you.
I think they're in the toughest area of the state. Spain Park, Briarwood, Pelham, Chelsea.
It's
any of those
amazing.
guys could make it to the state finals.
For sure.
Right, and so they're beating each other up. Plus,
Right.
Matt Hall, who's the coach there, he does a great job of scheduling out-of-conference games that are tough. Plus they have 13 seniors.
Yeah.
So this will
Yeah,
be
they
their
do.
last game because they may not make playoffs.
Right.
And, I mean, you face a team with 13 seniors and their last opportunity to play soccer,
Yeah.
that's going to be a tough match.
Their back's in a corner.
So two really tough games
Yes.
for us that are hopefully, whether we win or lose, they will prepare us well for playoffs.
Right.
So yeah, it's an exciting week, and our guys are really pumped for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing, and I want to say congratulations to you, is that you've already won the area title. So
right.
that is fantastic. You got to feel proud of your guys and how they've
Super
done.
proud because we faced a lot of adversity this year
Right.
with just a lot of stuff that's happened, and so for them to make that happen this year is special. And so
Right.
yeah, couldn't be any more proud of them.
Okay.
We've had up and down year outside of conference, but took
Right.
care of our conference opponents and focused, ready to go. So
Okay.
yep.
So when does playoffs begin, and do you know who your first team is?
We do. So first playoff game will be here at John Carroll on Thursday. I think that's the 24th.
All right.
All right. Actually, great thing is both our boys and girls won their conference.
Oh,
won
nice.
the area, won
Very
our conference.
nice.
And so we will both play that Thursday. Girls will be at 5, we will be at 7, and we'll both be playing against Leeds.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. That's
So,
crazy
yeah.
that you're both playing Leeds.
Yeah,
That's
it works
odd.
out. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Coach, again, congratulations. That's our show. We appreciate your time. And as always, we appreciate yours. Join us in a couple of weeks for what will hopefully continue to be another John Carroll version of Coach Speak.
Thank you, Aubrey.
Thank you.